In one of Kion's most challenging adventures, the son of Simba ventures far beyond the Pride Lands, leaving behind the Lion Guard to seek healing and wisdom at the mystical Tree of Life. This ancient and spiritual place, shrouded in mystery and power, becomes the setting for Kion's physical and emotional recovery. Here, he not only heals the scar that has plagued him, but also learns to master the roar of the elders, a power that has both blessed and burdened him. However, this journey is about more than just Kion's growth. It is also the story of Rani, the lioness destined to protect the Tree of Life, and how their meeting changes both of their lives forever. Now, if you haven't watched The Lion Guard, Rani might be a character you've never heard of before. She doesn't appear in any of the original Lion King films or even in the earlier seasons of The Lion Guard. In fact, Rani makes her debut in the final season of the show, and her introduction brings with it a wealth of new lore and depth to the Lion King universe. So Rani hails from a land far beyond the Pride Lands, Tree of Life. Rani is destined to be the next leader of the lands and replace her grandmother, Queen Jana, but her journey is full of challenges and mysteries that many fans have been theorizing about. Who is Rani, and what makes her such a pivotal character in this story? Buckle up as we dive deep into her story and explore some fascinating fan theories. To understand Rani, we must first understand the history of her home and the pride she was born into. The Tree of Life is not just a place of healing, it is also a place of great responsibility. Long ago, to safeguard this sacred site and the animals who sought refuge there, a group of legendary lions formed the Night Pride. Unlike the Lion Guard of the Pride Lands, which operates during the day, the Night Pride is a faction of lions who are active during the night, unless an emergency calls for their intervention during daylight hours. This nocturnal duty makes sense, as the Tree of Life is a place of rest and recovery, and the Night Pride ensures that its inhabitants remain safe and undisturbed. The lions of the Night Pride are distinct in appearance, often possessing dark brown fur, which sets them apart from the golden-maned lions of the Pride Lands. Over generations, the Night Pride has been led by a monarchy, with each ruler tasked with guiding and protecting the Tree of Life. This lineage of leadership eventually led to the reign of Queen Jana, a wise, patient, and compassionate ruler beloved by all who knew her. Queen Jana's reign was marked by her unwavering dedication to the animals under her care, and she became a symbol of hope and healing for those who sought refuge at the Tree of Life. From Queen Jana came her two sons, Surak and Sahasi. Sahasi, the elder of the two, fell in love with a lioness named Ananda. According to some fan theories, Rani, the firstborn lioness, and her brother Balio were accidental children, conceived in wedlock but unplanned, to their young parents, who were around 18 or 19 at the time. Since their parents had not yet assumed the throne, Rani was generally closer to them than her grandparents. Out of the two, she shared a deeper bond with her mother, as Sahasi was often out patrolling during the daytime. Some fans also believe that traditionally, male leaders of the Night Pride patrolled during the day, while the matriarchs took over at night. However, this tradition faded after the incident and was later reinstated upon the Lion Guard's arrival at the Tree of Life. A tragedy struck early in Rani's life when both of her parents passed away, leaving her and her brother in the care of their grandmother, Queen Jana. We were never told or shown how exactly her parents died, but there are a couple of theories flying around. Some believe it was a lethal disease that wiped out most of the pride while Rani and Balio were young. But I find it pretty hard to believe, because if it was a disease, it would have taken Queen Jana too, as she's the eldest, and the older you get, the less you are able to fight a serious disease. Others say it most likely was a fight, and her parents died defending the territory. This would also explain Rani's scar. As the theory goes, Rani's scar is a painful reminder of her past. She would have received it from the same animals who attacked and killed her parents. But one fan made an interesting observation of the shape. The scar seen in the Lion Guard was not the initial injury. The original wound was a deep claw mark, but according to this theory, over the years, Rani repeatedly picked at, scratched, and irritated the wound. This was partly due to physical discomfort, but also stemmed from her guilt over losing her parents. Her refusal to let the wound heal, both physically and emotionally, resulted in the permanent scar we see in the series. Now, understanding Rani's journey to leadership. Under Jana's guidance, Rani and Balio were raised to embody the values of responsibility, leadership, and respect for the circle of life. From a young age, Rani was groomed for greatness. As the firstborn, she was destined to one day take her grandmother's place as Queen of the Tree of Life. Queen Jana took her role as a mentor seriously, teaching Rani the importance of patience, compassion, and strength. These lessons were not just about ruling, but about understanding the delicate balance of life and the responsibility that came with protecting such a sacred place. It was also Queen Jana's stories about Scar and Mufasa, which she had learned from Rafiki during her travels with Makini's family, that instilled in Rani an underlying fear of the Pridelanders and sowed seeds of doubt about the outside world. Despite this, Rani had a childhood friend group that included Binga and a couple of other animals. However, this friend group dissolved once Rani ascended as the leader of the Night Pride. Once Queen Jana's health began to decline, she gradually delegated more of her duties to Rani, preparing her for the inevitable day when she would take the throne. And Rani took this role with determination and pride, but the journey was not without its challenges. The weight of her responsibilities often left her feeling overwhelmed, and she struggled with self-doubt, wondering if she was truly ready to follow in her grandmother's footsteps. Rani embraced her destiny and took her place as queen. Her coronation was a moment of both celebration and reflection, as she vowed to honor her grandmother's legacy and continue the work of protecting the Tree of Life. Alongside her brother Balio, the healer Nirmala, and her uncle Surak, Rani worked tirelessly to maintain peace and order at the Tree of Life. But in many ways, Rani was the lion version of Season 1 Twilight Sparkle. She couldn't care less about the idea of making friends and being social. She had a habit of expelling animals who appeared to be trespassers, even if they were not. Her growing overprotectiveness led to the Tree of Life becoming increasingly closed off from the world. Think of Simba's strict protection of Kiara in The Lion King 2. It was her in-laws, especially Kion and his family, who played a crucial role in helping her open up again. But how did this happen? We all know Rani's and Kion's relationship started off rocky. So during the period of transition, Kion and the Lion Guard arrived at the Tree of Life. Kion, scarred and in need of healing, had journeyed far from the Pride Lands in search of a cure. However, their arrival was met with suspicion and hostility from Rani and the Night Pride. Do you remember the stories from Queen Jana that potentially developed Rani's hatred towards Pridelanders? Yeah, so fearing that the newcomers might pose a threat to the sanctuary, Rani led her pride in an attack against the Lion Guard. The two groups clashed in a fierce battle during which Kion, in a moment of desperation, unleashed the roar of the elders. This left Rani absolutely furious, and she ordered Kion and his friends to leave and never return. But as it was a transitioning period, Rani had to report the incident to her grandmother, Queen Jana. The eldest recognized the significance of what had happened. The roar of the elders, a power long associated with the leaders of the Lion Guard, had returned to the Tree of Life. Jana instructed Rani to welcome Kion and his friends, urging her to trust in the wisdom of the Circle of Life. Reluctantly, Rani obeyed, though she remained wary of the newcomers. As Kion and the Lion Guard settled into the Tree of Life, Rani's initial distrust began to fade. She saw firsthand their commitment to helping others and their willingness to work alongside the Night Pride to protect the sanctuary. Over time, Rani and Kion develop some mutual respect for one another, and their relationship grows into a deeper friendship, or I should say, romance? Well, that's a topic for another day, as many fans argue whether their relationship was one of love or straight up calculated. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to explore their relationship more. Back to the story. One of the key moments in Rani's character development that we see is the first time she visits the Pride Lands alongside Kion. She experiences immediate culture shock. Rani encounters many animals she had never seen before and becomes an instant history and lore nerd regarding the Pridelanders' past. Surprisingly, she very quickly bonds with nearly everyone, restoring the alliance between the Tree of Life and the Pridelands. This experience also helps her become more of a social butterfly, as she had previously been reserved and cautious. Rani forms a close relationship with Kiara, who viewed her like a little sister. She also makes a strong impression on Kovu, Vitani, her Lion Guard, and the former outsiders, particularly when discussing the Tree of Life's military history, which leads to some of the ex-outsiders joining the Night Pride to regain their sense of adventure, which also ends up repopulating the Pride. During the stay, Rani also sympathizes with Jasiri and the Outlanders, even offering them refuge at the Tree of Life, which they declined, as the Outlands had begun to thrive under Jasiri's leadership. We truly see Rani change and develop as a leader. Another great moment where we can recognize how far Queen Rani has come is the return of Makucha. Makucha was initially one of the main antagonists in the Lion Guard. He led a group of rogue animals who sought to exploit the Tree of Life's abundant resources, disregarding its sacred nature and the creatures it protected. During Rani's reign as queen, Makucha eventually returned, but rather than engaging in another battle, Rani took a different approach. Recognizing that endless conflict would only bring more trouble, she successfully negotiated a peace treaty with Makucha and his leap. The agreement allowed them safe passage home under the condition that they would no longer threaten the Tree of Life or its inhabitants. With this truce in place, the rest of Makucha's army dispersed to their respective natural habitats, finding new places to thrive. However, Chulun chose to remain at the Tree of Life. Over time, she became the Pride's equivalent of Danny Rebus, often stirring up trouble but proving to be surprisingly helpful when needed. Rani and Kion eventually decided to adopt children. Since the Night Pride traditionally operated under a matriarchy, most of their adopted children were girls with one boy. Their daughters were named after Rani's mother and grandmother, while their son was named Herde, meaning heart, after Kion's deceased brother-in-law. As they entered middle age, Rani, Kion, the old Lion Guard, and Balio made the collective decision to move permanently to the Pride Lands. They had done everything they could for the Tree of Life. Its leadership was secure, its defenses were strong, and the alliance with the Pride Lands was stable. Given that both Kion and Rani had spent their entire lives carrying heavy responsibilities, settling down felt like the natural choice. Kion was the one who suggested they move to the Pride Lands, and Rani happily agreed. They retired from royalty and lived out the rest of their days watching the world unfold around them. So, what do you think of Rani? Do you have any interesting observations, theories, or details I might have missed? I believe Rani is a wonderful addition to the Lion King canon, bringing depth and complexity to the story. If you enjoyed this exploration of Rani's character, let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more deep dives like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.